Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing, and we always need good people on both sides of the aisle more than ever right now. We need to be leaning on each other more than ever. I'm being real, more than ever, because right now things are getting crazy out here in these streets. We got some breaking news I got to tell you guys here in just a minute. And then, of course, there's some other stuff. Obviously, there's some things going on with some developing information in the Charlie Kirk tragedy to Jimmy Kimmel. So we got a very short while to do this, but a lot to cover in a very short while. So strap in, get your libations, get your drinks, get your coffee, whatever you need to get. Your drinks, your water, whatever it is. Hydrate. Let's not forget to do that. Hydrate. Make sure you get your electrolytes, okay? And we got to dive right into this. So do me a favor before we go into all of it. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button, please, and thank you. If you haven't done that yet, please do that. And if you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, please show some love by hitting that reaction button, but also follow me on those platforms too. Don't forget to subscribe here on my YouTube channel, please, and thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. Okay? Go to my second and third channel, the Pascal Show Clips and Pascal Raw. Make sure you are subscribed over there as well. Okay? Please and thank you. Okay? That would be greatly appreciated. All right. And of course, hit that notification bell, set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it's random and a lot of it's breaking news. Hit that join button down below, become a member, support the channel if you can. That would be great. All right. Check out my Patreon. And of course, check out pascalmerch.com. Okay, pascalmerch.com. Okay, thank you guys so much. All right, and of course, check out that store. We got some really great stuff over there. All right, guys, we got to get into it. And yes, guys, I am fighting a cold. I think I told you guys that yesterday, but yes, I am fighting a cold. It's fine. It's at the tail end of it. I'm doing okay. I'm going to live. Thank you so much for your concerns, but I'm okay. But one thing we got to get into this, okay? We got to get into this. We got some new footage, some new photos, etc., that I think is very interesting, revolving around Tyler Robinson. You already know who this guy is, okay? The assailant, the monster, the person who pulled the trigger, taking the life of Charlie Kirk. Now, here's the thing. We got new footage now. We got a photo of him, allegedly, at a Dairy Queen minutes after he pulled the trigger. Well, according to Candace Owens, okay, she got this information. There was somehow this got leaked to Candace Owens. So, of course, she shared it to the rest of the world. Now, I just did a short, okay? I just did a short about this. And I got to be honest. And I'm going to say it again here. It might sound like I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to say this, okay? First off, you have got to be one diabolical, cold-blooded son of a gun to do what he did and then go over to a Dairy Queen and go, can I get the Oreo Blizzard and a small fry, please? And then sit there eating, seemingly calmly, eating your Blizzard and your small fries, as you're seeing pandemonium going on outside of the Dairy Queen. Do you realize how diabolical you have got to be to do something like that? Real talk, you got to be diabolical. And what's crazy is, it's almost the same thing that Luigi did, but he went days later and was caught at a McDonald's sitting there eating his hash browns like it was his first and only meal for the day. Right? But it's interesting that he pulls the trigger, then walks 17 to 18 minutes down the road, around the corner, basically, from where Ground Zero was, where this tragedy took place, and found himself inside this Dairy Queen ordering this food. Now, something that Candace Owens pulled up and mentioned, I'm going to show some of her video here in a second. She had a good point. It's not like he changed all of his outfit. She's like, okay, it looks like he just changed the shirt, and that's basically it. The hat's the same. The glasses are the same. It's the same dude, right? He just isn't wearing the black shirt anymore. He changed shirts, basically. At least from what this photo looks like. He could have changed into some blue jeans, That's possible. But nonetheless, hat, glasses, pretty much the same, right? But this explains to me and gives more insight, in my personal opinion, on how he was able to have those text messages. Remember? Yes, my love, I'm here. I'm okay, my love. Just waiting where I can find a way to retrieve Paul's rifle while law enforcement is swarming around me. Therefore, I have to stay and wait for 50 to disperse so I can finally retrieve my artillery. Right? He was able to do all that because he was sitting there. If this is 110% correct, he was sitting there chilling in the cut, dipping fries in a mother-loving blizzard inside a Dairy Queen while there was panic and pandemonium and a desperate search looking for that dude. Imagine that. Because some of y'all are wild, right? You'll take your fries, you'll dip it in the milkshake, right? I drink your milkshake, right? You put it in the milkshake and then you eat the fries, right? I know some of y'all are diabolical like that. For a fact he was doing it too, because he's crazy. All right? And still texting, shoving him down his throat while he's texting away, watching out the window, going, okay, yeah, 50 is doing this, that, and the third. He's able to, I'm sure he was looking at things. I'm sure he went on the tubes, watching the likes of any live stream that was going on at that time, getting information whilst he sat, stuffing his hole in his face with Blizzard ice cream and fried potato sticks. Yeah. Crazy, right? Crazy. So that would make sense. Because everyone's sitting there going, like, if he's huddled up somewhere or if he's busy running, why would he be sitting there going, yes, I must retrieve thy artillery before I return henceforth? Why would he be doing that? Why would he have time to go, my love? Everything I do for you, my love, right? Why would he have time to do any of that crap? Right? Why? It's because he was sitting in a doggone Dairy Queen chilling in the mother-loving cut. That is cold-blooded. That's very cold-blooded. Okay? Cold-blooded as F. All right? Deb B just said, it doesn't make sense. Well, it does if you really think about it. He's hiding in plain sight. You got cops swarming all around trying to find anyone suspicious looking. They're really looking for a guy covered in all black, right? But he's wearing a red t-shirt now. He's got the hat still on his head, but it's not like they're going to go, oh, I see those sunglasses. No, they're looking for a guy head to toe in all black. He's not wearing that anymore. And he's inside a dairy mother-loving queen. Probably trying to be as calm as he possibly can be in the situation. But you also got to remember, in a situation like this, there are plenty of other people that are probably inside that Dairy Queen terrified as well. Either because they got the news or they're coming from the event terrified out of their minds because of what just happened, right? Everyone's concerned. So everyone's nerves are at an all-time high. You see that, right? It's at an all-time high. So he would not look strange. He would not stick out like a sore thumb. The only way he would stick out like a sore thumb is if he was holding the rifle in his hand, decked in all black, and, looking like a culprit, looking like the assailant, right? But he wasn't. He was wearing the red shirt, dark pants. He had the hat on, but no one had their ID on the guy yet. They didn't have the photos, the melted mask photo, right? The crappy surveillance footage. They didn't have that yet. So he would probably be acting like a lot of other people that were in the area. Some people were breaking down crying. Some people were panicking, literally having anxiety attacks, constantly looking at their phone going, oh my God, what happened? What happened? What happened? Tuning to their phone, just seeing, stuck to their phones, glued to their phones to find out what happened to Mr. Charlie Kirk. Is he okay? Did he make it? What's going on? Everybody was doing that. We were doing it too, right? So imagine being at ground zero. He's not hiding in plain sight anymore, or he's not sticking out like a sore thumb. He's hiding in plain sight now because everybody's nerves is at 11 on a scale to 1 to 10, right? So this is crazy. So he's just sitting there, and I'm sure he's looking like panicked and stuff, but everybody else was too. Because you got to remember, this assailant, which we already know is him, but this assailant could be anywhere. This assailant could be anywhere. And everyone out there knew that. That's terrifying. What if that person wanted to pull the trigger on other people later on? You just never know, right? So everyone's trying to get as far away from the situation as possible. Maybe going here to get some food, trying to get as far away from the actual the ground zero. I'll just call it ground zero for right now, right? He did the same thing. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. It's crazy, y'all. But I think, and sure, I'm sure he was nervous. I'm sure he was, all the emotions that he had coursing through his veins. But he decided to stick around and literally chill inside a Dairy Queen while he waited for the chaos to calm down. And I don't know how he was able to slip through the cracks, after Dairy Queen, but nonetheless, he was able to have conversations with his man, basically saying, "My love, don't you worry, my love. I'm waiting so I can retrieve my grandpa's artillery. Then henceforth, I shall return. Make sure there is a stein filled with mead and some hay for my horses inside my steed." That's basically what he was saying in those text messages, right? I know he didn't say all that. But nonetheless, it's enough time to have a conversation with somebody, especially his lover. So, again, let's take a look at this. Yes, I said not the Micah said, not the hay, man. Yeah, the hay. Okay, some hay for my steed. Okay. But was Tyler Robinson at Dairy Queen after this tragedy? What we know. All right. So Tyler Robinson appears to have been spotted in a Dairy Queen okay, after pulling the trigger on Charlie Kirk. The conservative influencer, Candace Owens, we're going to be checking out what she says here in a little bit. She released an image purporting to show the alleged monster at the outlet during an episode of her podcast. Newsweek has contacted Orem Police Department and Dairy Queen for comment and confirmation. Why this matters? Because obviously he pulled the trigger on Kirk, okay, on September 10th, which we already know about all that, okay? What to know? So Candace Owens shared this on her podcast and on her reel on Instagram that she had an exclusive image of Tyler Robinson. The photograph, which had not previously been released, appears to show Robinson at a Dairy Queen. Owens said the image was taken at 6:38 p.m. after the tragedy. The picture appears to show Robinson wearing a maroon t-shirt with a cap. His head is turned. Owens said the nearby Dairy Queen was only 15 minutes away from where this tragedy happened. Okay? The image has not been verified by law enforcement or any official entity. Newsweek has not independently verified the image. But I feel that, let's be real. Yes, a very good old chap. All right, chap. Yes. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, I truly think, all right, I truly think that what Candace Owens has for us is actually real. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Like I said, cold city, okay? But I truly think that what Candace Owens has gotten her hands on, I know it's wild. We live in a wild world right now. Like the fact that I'm saying this about Candace Owens, it's wild. I know it's wild. It's even diabolical. I'm going to be real, but I believe her that she got a true image. Okay? That she got a true image of him hours after he pulled the trigger. That's what I truly believe. I don't think it's AI. I don't think it's some fake fugazi, okay? I don't think it's some fake thing. I truly think that is truly what happened here, okay? He did what he did, and then he hid out for a little while, then went to a Dairy Queen, waited out a little bit longer, and then he left, okay? But he was hoping that police would not find that rifle, and he was sticking around to make sure of that, and it didn't happen. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Somebody just said something about this, that the bullet came from behind. That doesn't make any sense. If you look at the footage, it clearly comes from the front. It clearly comes from the front. Okay? Maybe and Melody A, I don't know if she has more photos. I don't know if she has more photos. I don't. But he stuck around. So it wouldn't make sense. He stuck around. Here's the other thing, too. The theory about Kirk actually getting hit from behind, if it came through this way, do you realize that somebody else would have gotten hit or could have gotten hit? Like, this is a very, where he actually got hit, depending on the angle of where it's being, where the trajectory, if you will, is coming, right? It could have gone, then the exit wound would have gone, the bullet would have gone out. Somebody else could have been hit with that bullet too. Now, I know people are having that theory that maybe he was getting hit from behind, but it's not. I don't believe that. I don't. I think there's the other thing too. And with all due respect, I just think there's a lot of people that want to add more to it when it's just very straightforward. I truly believe that they got the guy. The guy who did what he did, The guy did it. He did it. He confessed to his friends. He admits to doing it. Blah, blah, blah. Right? I don't think that there was like a second assailant or anything of that sort. I really think that this guy went up on the top of a building, pulled the trigger, and ran. I don't think that there would be so much going on, why the family, the parents would turn their own child in. Why make this kid the scapegoat in the first place? I truly think that this kid had a hatred for this man, Charlie Kirk, and did what he did. And he could have done it for the glory of love. I don't know. But I'm not looking at those text messages going, oh, there's so much love between them. Oh, my gosh. Can't you see his heartbeat for his man through these text messages? It's nothing but love. Don't you see it? No, I don't see that at all. I don't. I see a guy who is trying to sound like he is a hero, for sure. Hello, my love. Yes, my love. But it's not like, I did it all for you, love. I love you. Roses are red. Violets are blue. Like, it's not doing that. It's not giving that for me. Is it for you? I know we had that ABC correspondent being like, can't you see he was pouring his heart out to his man? No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I saw a man go, yeah, I did it. My love. Love me. You know what I mean? Serve me hand and foot as I walk back into our quarters. That's what it felt like to me. Honor me. I am God. That's what I was. That's kind of the vibe I was getting. I'm King Ding-a-ling. You see? Not really. I did it for you, my love. Henceforth, with a 2-4. No, I didn't get that. But soft. No, I didn't get that. Sorry. I didn't get that. Maybe somebody else did. I mean, apparently some correspondent said, oh, it's coming from love. It's coming from love. Bump, bump. No, it's not. It's coming from something else. And it's, look at what I did. It's almost like, be proud of me. Look at what I done did. That's the vibe I got from that. And then it's like, well, I'm here in the trenches. I got to go get my rifle back because I'm worried about it. Okay, I got to get my rifle back. Got to get it back. Pawpaw's going to be real pissed if I don't have that rifle back in his hands before the end of the day. Dagnabbit. Got to get that rifle. I'm in the trenches, sweetheart. I'm in the trenches. I'll be back, though, because I'm a man. That's the vibe I got. Yeah, he said, my old man. I'm worried about what my old man's going to say if I don't bring that rifle back. Right? Soundtrack in the background's playing Nickelback. Look at this photograph. You know what I mean? It's very man. You know what I mean? That's the vibe I got. That's the vibe. But yes, there is love behind there because he says, my love, right? But it is very hero. And they say that here, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's the vibe I got. I'm a hero. I did something good. Love me. Serve me at hand and foot as I walk back into these quarters. I expect nothing but 1,000 trumpets trumpeting as I enter the quarters. Right? Mead runneth over as I walk in. A gaggle of harlots all over me, cherishing every nook and cranny of my being. You know what I'm saying? like that. You get it now. I'm done. Moving on. We're going over to Candace Owens. What a segue. What a segue. But we're going there. Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Okay. But like I said, that's I feel what he was expecting. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not in his head, but I didn't see it like I'm doing this. Like, truly, love was there. That was part of the inspiration, part of that started the obsession that got into this really diabolical move that he did, right? But after that, it's more like, like when you got a dog and they go and they like catch a rabbit and then they run back over and they put that nasty mauled up rabbit at your feet. And they're like, look at what I did. You know what I mean? And you're like, no, especially if you're a girl. Ew, so gross. Oh my God. And Pookie, why did you do that to little hippity hop? Right? But Pookie's sitting there going like, you know what I mean? I'm proud. I did something good. Love me. Right? That's the vibe I got. It's diabolical. When you know for a fact a dog don't know no better, okay? He a grown-ass man. He knows better. You see what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, right? Okay, you're welcome. Moving on. Let's see what Candace Owens has to say about all this. Let's go.
Pentagon building. We weren't allowed to see that for a very long time. I think someone actually in Congress had to fight to get any footage released, and you had people that were saying, no, it was a missile. Well, they swept everything nearby, so that's what this is kind of reminding me of, a Fed sweep. They pretend that they want more information, but in reality, they want to make sure that they have all of the information, all of the footage, so that they can control the narrative. Except sometimes things don't go as planned. Because before people realize they have anything, or maybe when they're trying to reach out to the feds, they're texting a friend who texts a friend. And the next thing you know, the whole neighborhood in all of Orem has something. And this is what happened. Something made its way around the entire town and into my tips line repeatedly. It is a very clear image of Tyler Robinson, allegedly taken, I'll say allegedly for safety here, but it's looking right according to my timeline, allegedly taken at 6:38 p.m. at a nearby Dairy Queen. Here is that photo that we can show you. Just take a look at this photo. What is wrong with this picture? A lot is wrong with this picture. First and foremost, 6:38 p.m., you just shot someone. You have gone through great pains to hide your face, to change your outfit. But wait, you didn't fully change your outfit, did you? I'm looking at this photo, and you're wearing jeans and you're wearing the maroon shirt. Now we have a 50-50 combo of the outfits. And now you're showing your eyes and you're not fearful at all that you might be recognized. Also, wow, you must have quite the stomach. You don't have a record. Next thing you know, you shoot someone and you're like, I'm just going to go have a meal. You don't seem to be too shaken or too upset.
Now, again, here's the thing. I see where she's going with this. Okay. And again, I know that there's going to be people who are going to sit here and say, I don't believe. I know. I saw some of the comments and I get it. Here it is, guys. Like Misunderstood says, yeah, no, man, I have to not be on this one with you. I don't believe he did it at all, especially after the way Mr., the man, okay, and his people are showing their guilt by everything they're doing on his behalf. Now, here's the thing. And there's a reason why I'm talking that way. We're going to talk about that in a second, okay? Because it's bad, okay? Our country is in some serious trouble, guys. And I know some of y'all rolling your eyes like, oh, God, here we go. No. It's very important. We're going to talk about it in a second. But I feel that, and here it is, with everybody who thinks that it wasn't him, hey, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. And until we see otherwise, I still think that they got their guy. I think that this is a person that is very off. Okay? I think this is somebody who has some serious mental health issues, was with somebody else who had serious mental health issues, with all due respect, We're hearing the stories about how Lance Twiggs has some issues himself as well. I think birds of a feather flock together. He was with somebody who I feel told him things, maybe showed him a way, and he went down that path. And maybe that path took him down a very dark tunnel, and things turned dark in his mind for Tyler. And then he said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this not only for the trans community, but I'm going to do it for my man too, or my girl, you know what I mean, for Twigs as well. And they are going to be so proud of me. Okay. That's what I truly think. Now, it could be more complicated than that, or it could be simpler than that. I don't know. All I know is that we have to agree that let's just say it isn't him. It doesn't matter. Whoever would go get a rifle, sit up, get the sights right, pull the trigger, and take the life of somebody that could have been the next president, okay? That takes some serious mental health issues for you to do something like that. I think we can all agree on that. So if we're looking at this guy as if he is the one, because he clearly is the one who did this, I think it's safe to say that this man's not right in his head. So for him to be chilling, like I said in my short, he's diabolical. I think we can all agree on that. He pulled the trigger, and then hours later, he's found at a Dairy Queen, scarfing down fries in a blizzard. That's crazy. That's crazy. He may be trying to be calming himself down, trying to find a way. But you also got to remember, a lot of people hold their nerves differently. Haven't you noticed people who are very stoic, very quiet? They're not very animated. They're just still. You don't even know, like you're out there hanging out with them or, drinking with them or something like that. You don't even know if they're even half lit off of one drink or not. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're just blitzed out of their mind, right? Or you don't even know if that person's mad or sad. You just don't know because they hold everything in so much you can't read that person. I know plenty of people like that. Doesn't mean that they're out of their minds. I'm just saying, imagine someone being that stoic, but they have mental health issues. They do what they did to Charlie Kirk, and they're inside a Dairy Queen. Do you really think? Because in their minds, they're probably thinking, oh my God, I look insane. I look like I did it, right? But on the outside, of us, on the exterior, we're looking at them, and we can't even tell if they had a good day or bad day today. And that could very well be his demeanor in general. When he's having a bad day, you don't know. When he's having a good day, you don't know, right? He keeps everything to himself. That is a real thing, guys. That is real. People are like that. So I feel like he was hearing and listening to a whole lot of stuff, and then one moment, one day, one unbelievably disturbing, sad, fateful day, his mind broke. And then he said, I'm going to do this. And then he did it. So sure, he's sitting there looking cool, calm, and collected. Could be the showings of a sociopath as well. Or he feels like he did the right thing. I know, that sounds crazy. Or he feels justified in what he did. That is crazy. Think about that. Think about that as we continue.
Something problematic is the location, by the way. We mapped this out. It's about 15 minutes away from the campus at a time when we're told that he's idling by, babysitting the rifle. So you can see, we're showing you, it's about a 17-minute drive away from the campus. So there should be a lot of footage then of this Dodge Challenger driving back and forth. Okay. And like I said, the biggest thing that jumps at me is he looks kind of content there. So he's got to be a full-blown psychopath wearing half of what the feds told us he was wearing in the morning and half of what the feds told us that he was wearing during the shooting. Okay, so why did he text in this exchange at all and say that he changed outfits? When you've just said, I changed my t-shirt, if that's the reality, you just changed.
I mean, if he really, what if he wore all black? What if the pants were all black and the shirt was and the shirt was black? So then if you really think about it, then yeah, he changed his outfit. Technically he did. Okay. I mean, like I said, okay, we're going to continue, but I know you know what I mean? And I get it. This is her friend. She's passionate about this case. She wants to know, she wants to get down to the nitty gritty of this. But like I said, take it with a grain of salt. But this photo here, to me, says a lot.
Your t-shirt and that was enough? Was it just a t-shirt that he changed? The outfit, again, as I sensed yesterday, has always been problematic. I feel the outfit was the Fed mistake. It never made any sense to say that he wore an outfit onto campus, light khaki shorts and a maroon shirt, and then decided to completely change hours later. Because
well, actually, he went there. See, this is the thing. He went up there by himself, chilling, khaki shorts, you know, and another shirt. I think it was a red shirt, if I'm correct. Then he went back, changed, then went back to the campus. This time, he's wearing all black, but he's limping because he has the weapon, the rifle, stuffed in his pant leg, which is weird, by the way. It's very weird what he did, okay? I still don't understand it, and I've seen other people try to show, like, how did he do it, right? It's weird. It still doesn't make any sense to me at all either. But he was wearing all black when he walked up. Then he changed the outfit after he jumped off the roof, which makes no sense either, right? It's very confusing. Then we heard the same thing with the rifle. The rifle was dismantled, and then it was put back together, reassembled back up on the roof. Then he dismantled it again before he jumped off the roof, and then, you know, put it back together before he discarded it in the woods or in that bush, in a wooded area. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But see, this is the problem with what we had to deal with when the feds were giving us information. There was so much information that was flying out the gates very fast that they didn't have a chance to really confirm it before they actually released it. And I think that's one of the main reasons why a lot of us are scratching our heads going, wait a second, miss me with this nonsense. Miss me with the BS. You're lying. You're not telling me the truth. First, he's wearing this. Now he's wearing this. Now you're saying it's the same day, but not the same day. What's the real timeline here? You see what I'm saying? So I get it. It's confusing. But I think he only changed his outfit after he jumped off the roof. We saw the footage of him jumping off the roof. He's in all black when he jumps off the roof. He didn't change. Now, as far as the rifle goes, that's the question, right? But the rifle apparently is in his hands as he's trying to jump off of the roof. So again, it's so crazy. And yes, he had weeks to plan this. So of course he's going to have, maybe he put a change of clothes in the exact same spot where he discarded his rifle at. Maybe that was his drop-off point. This is where he's going to change. So he quickly changes his clothes in that wooded area. Then he leaves the weapon behind because he's like, I can't run around with this sticking out of my hands. They're going to see me running around with a duffel bag looking like I have something pointy, like a rifle, in this mother-loving bag. So I got to put it over to the side. But I'm going to come back for it, right? Or I'm running around with a black towel wrapped around a rifle, and that's going to look very, very suspicious as I'm trying to inconspicuously run through and get past 5-0 right now. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to discard it over here while I'm changing my clothes. I mean, it's possible. I don't have the answers. Okay. I'm not a wizard. I don't have the answers, but that's what I feel in my bones it could be. Janobi, thank you so much. That's my man. Okay. Old English style. Tis my man. You know, tis my, what is it? What is it? I don't even know what the old time thing, you know what I mean? What would you say? Tis my lover. I don't know. But anyway, yes. And Nurse for God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships, guys. Please pay it forward. Welcome to the family, all 5 of you guys, but please pay it forward, okay? Show some love, give it back, okay? Open the door for somebody, show some love to somebody, okay? Just very, very simple things, okay? It just it trickles down and hopefully makes people smile and makes them want to do something good for the next person, okay? Simple things keep us moving, okay? But let me play a tiny bit more, but I got to get into this other stuff before I have to end this show, unfortunately. But let me show you guys a little bit more of this, and then we're going to jump into the next thing.
Because why wouldn't you just change the t-shirt? That actually makes more sense. Every kid wears blue jeans. You don't have to like change blue jeans or change out of khaki shorts to avoid detection. That's not going to go, hey, we're stopping you because you're wearing blue jeans. That's not a thing. It would make much more sense if he had just changed his t-shirts. And like I said yesterday, if you were going to change it all, why did you have to leave campus to do that? And shouldn't the cameras have caught you either way? You take a totally different route. Again, there's cameras everywhere. So
I agree with her 110% about the fact that there isn't enough footage being shown. Okay? She is making a lot of sense. I'm not saying that she's not making any sense. She's making sense. There's things I don't agree with what she's saying here. I think some of it's a little bit of a stretch, but there is a lot of common sense that she's saying here. Like, hey, by the way, there's camera footage all over the place. So you know for a fact they're following this guy. Once they found out who he was, they were following him and following his tracks via security cam footage. So they could stitch this all together and go, okay, he went here, he crossed this street, he crossed this crossway, he went there, then he went to the Dairy Queen. Then he was at the Dairy Queen for 30 minutes. And then from Dairy Queen, he went back over here and he did this, this, and this. Maybe went back to the spot where he dropped off the rifle. He said, you could tell he was like, oh no, it's gone. And he's like, I got to go. And then he goes back over to his car and then he drives off. You know, that's possible. They should have that footage. They should have that footage. Will they show it to the public? I don't know. I hope eventually they will. I really do hope eventually they will, but only time will tell, right? But moving on, we got a few things I want to share. First off, this is a very, 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 very big problem, okay? This is something that just happened. I just talked about it in a short and a reel. So definitely follow. I'm telling you guys, you've got to follow me on Facebook because there's so much updates. Okay. There's so many updates that I need to share with you guys. All right. And I'm putting all that stuff, okay, on Facebook because some things I can't just do a video on. You know, we busy out here. All right. And things are happening so fast right now. It's insane. So make sure you're following me on the Pascal Show Facebook page. I'm almost at 50,000 followers on there. So if you can get over there and follow, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay. But here's something. This is a very, very big deal. Our country is in some serious trouble. And I know some of y'all are going to roll your eyes and just like, oh, here we go again. But this is a very, very big deal. Trump has announced that he is looking to remove licenses from specific broadcasters like ABC and NBC, okay? Solely because he thinks that coverage on him is illegal. Because he says right here, Trump defends his statement that broadcasters should potentially lose their licenses over negative news coverage of him. Quote unquote, they'll take a great story and they'll make it bad, he said, speaking to reporters in the Oval Office. See, I think that's really illegal. FCC chairman Brendan Carr has argued that he can withhold licenses that aren't being used in the public interest to crack down on speech that doesn't serve local viewers, which includes coverage that is biased against conservatives, a standard that many telecom experts and Democrats say is too broad. Now, let me just say this really quick. This has, obviously, we're seeing what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. Now that he's sitting here saying, hey, what about Jimmy Fallon? And what about Seth Meyers? And also, he's like, what about The View? Which, by the way, I've only seen like a few clips from The View, okay? And I'm going to be real. The View has multiple voices on that channel, on that show. Multiple people from all types. You got ultra conservatives all the way to hardcore liberals on that show. What are you talking about? But the fact that he's sitting here saying, I am going to make media bias illegal is unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. I just want to make that abundantly clear. In other words, he wants to turn periodicals and legacy media into a, isn't MAGA great? Isn't Trump amazing? Hasn't he done amazing things? He's incredible. The best president in the history of presidents. We already hear that from Caroline Leavitt already. We don't need more coverage that way. We already have that from Fox News. This is a problem. And if you see it different, if you're going, shut up. He's saying something that's truly unconstitutional, which, by the way, his first term, free speech was a thing that conservative pundits, podcasters, etc., leaned hard on. Okay, they leaned on that mother-loving thing so hard. They're like, why? Why can't a guy? What's the big deal? He wore blackface 10 years ago. What's the big freaking deal? He said the N-word back in the day. But let him go. It's free speech, free speech, free speech. So many people were flooding to those pundits and those podcasters going, yeah, that's right, free speech. But as soon as Trump says, we're going to take away free speech, freedom of press, some of y'all okay with that? You realize that's insane, right? Actually, no. Let's just put insane to the side. Let's just put it to the side. You realize this is unconstitutional, right? It's unconstitutional. So if he's even able to do something like this, this is not good. It's not right to suddenly get in your fees and say, get rid of this show, get rid of this channel, get rid of this podcast, like not podcast, but get rid of this this host, or so on and so forth, because they have an opinion that is different from the president. Do you realize how many other presidents that have been parodied turned into political satire? Do you know how many? All of them have been poked fun at. All of them. Okay? So in other words, he's trying something. He's trying something that's not right. And it needs to be known that this is unconstitutional and illegal if he tries to successfully make this happen. And this is a huge problem for the future of our country, because then we're now starting to see that freedom of speech ain't free no more. Soon everybody's going to be sitting out here saying, my speech, my rights. It won't be my gun, my rights no more. It will be my speech, my rights. 1A. But I don't see many on the left, on the right so far, saying anything about this. I'm waiting for it because it just, it's new. You know what I mean? It's just started percolating. But I'm waiting for some of them to actually speak out because this is not right. This is not right. And I'm telling you right now, if it goes for all legacy media, if it goes for TV, if he's going for TV, he's going to be going after media too. He's going to be going after social media too. And social media is going to be gone too, y'all. Social media will be gone. YouTube will just be right wing. Or you won't be able to talk about anything he does or the administration does. You might be able to cover it as long as you're going, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's what you're going to have to do. But outside of that, you won't be able to say nothing anymore. Oh, TikTok is already run by the White House, by the way, guys. They already made a deal with China. Oh, it's already been run by the White House. Okay, by the W. Hizzy. It's already run by that. So just so you know, this is not something that's good. This is very Kim Jong-un vibe. Did you not see the golden statue of him holding a Bitcoin that apparently is outside the nation's capital right now? Have you not seen that? Have you not seen that? It's real. Google it. We are living in a fever dream. I swear to God. This is not good. We need to start making speech free again. I'm being dead serious. If it starts going down this route, you go shoot. If it affects the internet and social media, you're going to see new things on this channel too. We're going to be hitting a hard turn and not talking about a damn thing about what he's doing because we won't be able to. We won't be allowed to talk about it anymore. Free speech ain't free no more. If it turns into this, freedom of speech ain't free no more. This is bad. Now, I do want to share one last thing before I go. Jimmy Kimmel apparently was going to double down on what he was going to say. He was going to double down on what he said the night before when he said, oh, the MAGA gang is trying to capitalize on this situation to make the left look bad, basically, right? Well, we're now hearing that he walked into his studio and they basically, before he found out that he got the axe, he was going to double down. He was, in fact, going to talk more trash on MAGA, allegedly. Let's take a look at this real quick.
Indefinitely. He was spotted storming out of the studio last night and hopping into a getaway car. Even across the pond, Trump couldn't resist.
Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago.
So,
by the way, I need somebody to fact check that for me. Was Jimmy Kimmel having bad ratings? I thought he was one of the top contenders in the late night talk show realm. Did he have low ratings? Or are we just believing what Trump is saying because it's coming out of his damn mouth? I'm just being real. Are we believing that 110% just because he said it? Just think about it, guys. I'm just saying, challenge. Think for yourself. Just because he says it does not automatically mean it's true. I would say the same thing if this was Biden, Obama, Bill Clinton, Reagan. Okay, I don't care. I'd be asking the same thing. If this was the same situation, I'd be like, Obama, you sure he was having bad ratings? He didn't have low ratings, everybody. He did not. Okay. So again, come on now. Come on. This is not what Charlie Kirk stood for. I'm telling you right now, he would not be cool with this. He would not.
why'd Kimmel get benched? He falsely framed you for killing Charlie.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang
Advertisers were burning up the phones. ABC executives were getting flooded with emails. Disney boss Bob Iger wanted Kimmel to apologize.
Here we go.
Kimmel said, No way, Bob.
Jimmy wanted to go on his show last night, and in his monologue, I hear that he wanted to address the backlash from the right regarding his commentary about Charlie Kirk's charged killer. And I hear that that monologue was very hot. It very much took aim at MAGA, and that is when the executive said, we can't have him go on the air tonight.
Now, what's very interesting about this, okay, is that I have never seen Jimmy Kimmel so far really bow down to backlash on the, from the internet, social media, from the public. I find that very interesting because there was things that happened in the past where he was on the chopping block because of, past things, like the cancellation chopping block. And what happened? He didn't say nothing. He just continued doing what he did. He was doing his job. He was like, I'm not changing anything. A joke is a joke. I did my thing. That was back in the day. I'm moving on. He didn't say anything. And this time he's like, you know what? Y'all so mad. Y'all so angry. F it. I'm going to double down. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that was the best idea. Okay. I probably would have been one in the room being like, listen, Jimmy, JK. Okay. Jim, maybe we should not do that. Okay. Maybe we should just take a different route. We don't need you to apologize. We just don't need to acknowledge what happened yesterday. How's that? You know what I mean? But again, very, very interesting stuff, right? Very, very interesting stuff. The fact that he was willing to go back and do it again is insane. It's insane, okay? But I'm sure he didn't know that he was going to get canned the way he got canned. I guess I wish they would have had a more heart-to-heart conversation with him and just said, hey, you know what? You can't do this monologue or you're gonna lose the show. And just give him that opportunity and that option. And he probably would have been like, then I'm out. He probably would have done that. But they didn't do that still. He walked in and they said, well, you're fired. Sorry, guys, we can't do this. We have a multi-billion-dollar deal, this huge merger that we're not trying to lose. The higher ups are trying to make a multi-billion-dollar deal with streaming services, with sports and all that. We can't lose that because of your show. In case you didn't already know about that. There's a lot bigger things going on than just his opinion being said on his show. There's a much bigger thing going on that they do not want to lose. It's billions of dollars on the line that Trump could have walked in and destroyed. He could have put a halt to that multi-billion-dollar deal if they continued to piss off Trump. So what did they do? They said, F it. Sorry, Jimmy, you got to go. Because there was billions of dollars on the line. Billions with the B, not the M. B. Billions. Okay? And that's why. That's also an added piece of why Kimmel lost his gig. Ain't that crazy? Money over everything. It's diabolical, y'all. It's truly, truly diabolical. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, guys, but I'll try to be back on tomorrow. We'll talk more. There's a lot of developing information going on. Free speech, the freedom of speech is on the line right now. We really need to fight back, y'all. We definitely need to fight back. I don't know how we can do it, how to fight back, but we're going to figure it out. Because we got to do it, but we got to do it peacefully. All right? But I appreciate all y'all for being here. It means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button on these other platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to hit that follow. Follow me on my Facebook, please, and thank you. Hit that subscribe button here on my main channel. Check out my other two channels, The Pascal Show Clips and Pascal Raw. Subscribe over there. Hit that notification bell. Hit that join button down below, support the channel, check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys, I got to get going, but I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.